Hello everyone, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon us all. I bear witness there's no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad is his slave and messenger. I also take refuge in Allah from the rejected Satan. In this video, I'd like to talk about the immigration law that the Trump administration wants to put forth to ban all Muslims. I hear this resurfacing in the news that they want to go ahead with this. I'm not sure about all the details, but I can tell you that if they go through with this is a huge error on the Trump administration and falling in the hands of the shaitan. ISIS is a group of militants that are collected from people all around the world. So from Africa, from the United States, from Canada, from Europe, from Russia, from the Middle East, all people around the world are joining ISIS. So to ban Muslims is, first of all, ideological, because if they're coming from all different places from the world, they can come in through their own countries and own means, so really this system is flawed to begin with. It's only a deception from the shaitan. The shaitan is trying to fool you, pull the wool over your eyes and the Americans' eyes, to ban all Muslims. It's actually ridiculous to think that banning one group of people will stop terrorism. You have a better chance of dying from your furniture than to dying from an Islamic terrorist attack. So why don't you just ban all furniture if that's your mindset or whatever? It makes no and absolutely no sense. Islam is an important part of the United States. Thomas Jefferson was one of the founding fathers and third president of the United States, and owned and studied the Quran. Prophet Moses and Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon them both, are honored in the Supreme Court as one of the greatest lawgivers of all time. So Islam is a part of the United States if you want to believe it or not. Muslims are part of the United States if you believe it or not. This law, if you want to ban all Muslims, goes against God. It goes against creation, and is an oppression on the Muslim people. It makes no sense whatsoever. And there's going to be a huge backlashing if the Trump administration goes through with this. You got a little taste of it before when in your election you mentioned that, and you had a worldwide negative reaction to that. And if you go through with it, it's just probably going to be a lot worse. And it's a huge oppression on believers in the world. Allah says in the Quran that to oppress someone for their religious beliefs is worse than murder. So if you're going to oppress Muslims for believing that they believe in one God alone, it's worse than murder. So it's a huge deal. It goes against God. It's a huge crime, and I just want to warn you about that. It's in your hands, it's your choice, but it's a huge mistake, and you're falling in the hands of the shaitan. You're better off to upset a small group of people than to upset the vast majority of people, because the vast majority of people are good in this world and will know in their hearts that it's completely wrong. And you will definitely feel the backlash of that. I can almost well guarantee you that. Allah knows best. So, obviously, it's not a good idea. I hope this law doesn't go forth. If you want to make it more strict for people in immigration, then ban all immigration, or make it difficult for more vetting involved in immigration. But just to ban one group and say that they're the problem, they're the issue, this is just a repeat of history with Hitler and the Jews. Saying that these Jews are causing all the problems, and look what happened to them. That's a bit of an extreme analogy, but it's on the same wavelength. And I say there will be dire consequences to that, not from me, but it will come from God, because you're oppressing the believers of this world, and the believers of this world is what keeps this world together. And if you want a great America, you want to be a great president, then don't oppress the Muslims, don't oppress the Christians, don't oppress the Jews, don't oppress the people in any way, shape, or form. I'm always against oppression, Muslim or non-Muslim, believer or non-believer, gay or straight or whatever. I'm always against the one who's being oppressed. And here, the Muslims in this case are being oppressed. And I do believe Trump has amazing things to offer the United States. I think he's going to help the oppression of the people in the economy. They're being economically oppressed, and he's going to help the people in that way, and hopefully bring them closer to God, and make America great, and because God is the greatest, Allahu Akbar, and make the world great as well, because God is the greatest, and we want to make the world great because God is the greatest and gave us the opportunity to make the world great, and we want to do that too. And I'm here supporting you, Mr. Trump, and your administration, but I don't support banning all Muslims. That's falling in the hands of the shaitan. They want you to make a quick reaction, and that reaction is going to be a very negative reaction, and it's going to have dire consequences to your legacy if that goes forth, and not only in this world but in the next, on the day of judgment, as well, as we are witness to all this. So with that all said, I hope you make the right decision. It's your choice, and I hope you make the right one. Thank you so much. All the best. Peace and blessings.